Agriculture, that's a very common word that people learn from primary school to up to where they are in life. And what exactly is agriculture? It basically is the backbone of our economy and the source of our food. And it's now, right now, it has evolved over the past previous years to be something that is able to accommodate and expand and grow. But what exactly is agriculture? And why does it really matter today? Because you have to feed yourself, you have to get the food, you have to plant it, you have to nurture it, you have to grow it. So stick around as we discuss exactly what is agriculture. And for today's video, we are going to be focusing on four major points actually. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Mugai Kairioki, founder at M Research, where we deal with data in agriculture. So first of all, what is agriculture? That's a question that has been there since way back. When you're doing your sciences back in primary, you've been taught about agriculture. So it's basically a practice of cultivating plants and livestock for food. You trade with your peers back and forth and such. That is one. Let's go to two. How many types of agriculture are there? We have two. We have livestock farming, and then we also have crop farming itself, which is the major factors. And then from there we have why is agriculture important? Have you ever asked yourself that question? It's not usually a matter of going to the kitchen, collecting a few recipes, a few samples, or a few ingredients, and then you come mix them together to give you this one final product, which is the food. um you know why is it really that important? And first of all, we have food security. That is, without farming, actually without agriculture itself, we wouldn't actually be able to eat. I even don't know how that would work. It's very crazy actually. Also employment, that's another factor. That is, we need people to work in the agricultural field, not only in terms of farming, but also in terms of research, in terms of manufacturing, changing a certain, type of crop to a finished product. For example, you take the milk, you turn it to butter, you turn it to yogurt, you turn it to ghee, you take also the potatoes, look at them, you turn them to crisps, you turn them to a lot, a lot of things there at the end of the day. We also have the economic growth, that is in terms of how a country is performing in terms of agriculture. By the way, did you know that our country, Kenya, at the moment, over 70% of the country's population, that is 70% of the country's population, rely on agriculture to sustain themselves? Would you believe that? Like, agriculture in the country is one of the sectors that is really holding on to the economy, because the annual GDP is usually around 38, a difference of 35% to 42%. That's what agriculture is. So it's really playing a very big factor. Next, we go to what point number four, which is sustainability. With climate change, actually what happens is smart agriculture is the key to survival. That's why agriculture is always evolving. 2 years down the line, you hear there is a certain type of genetic type of seedling, for example maize, that is prone to diseases, can be able to be planted even on the dry seasons. It's always but a matter of evolving. With agriculture, everything changes. From how we used to till our lands, right now we have computerized tractors. uh, from how big the sizes of the potatoes were, or the type of melon that you were having as a kid. There was one that was just completely dark green, but now you have all sorts of melon. Exactly. And then now, so in this next subtopic, we are going to focus on the evolution of agriculture. How has agriculture changed over the years? Just that just as how I've said before, sustainability. So it's one and the same thing actually. We have traditional farming, where we used to use the basic tools. You remember back then how we used to study about the pre-Neolithic era, the stages, how agriculture was. People used to sharpen stones, and then that's what they used to dig. But now we have computer controlled tractors, which is really mind blowing if you happen to go to one of those big large scale farm operations that has been there. We've also have had the green revolution, that is in terms of fertilizers, improved seeds, irrigation, just as how I've said it previously. We also have the digital and smart agriculture, that is we have now, ever since AI came into place, we it has really helped in terms of agriculture, because with AI you can be able to predict the outcome of a certain project you're carrying on in agriculture. Actually, there is also precision farming, which is exactly taking over for some of the things. Actually, they are, we have drones, they fly out in the fields over hundreds and thousands of acres. We have AI driven weather predictions. You can be able to know whether it's going to rain in the next 1 month or so. We also have a mobile app for farmers so that they can be able to monitor their crop, how it is, how they're being produced in the country. Well, that brings us next to our next topic, sorry, which is challenges in agriculture at the moment. And one, this is really affecting most of the farmers actually, which is climate change. Climate change, on the essence of, as much as we have AI, it hasn't been developed that much to help you to know how the climate is going to be 3 weeks from now or 2 months from now. It's still in the timelines of being smooth. So climate change has really changed the climate itself has really changed. It has become so quick. You can't predict whatever it is that is coming tomorrow. So you as a farmer, maybe you think this is the right time to plant, and it ain't. You plant maybe, and then it rains for a short while, and then you're like, oh yeah, my crops are going to grow, but then there's no rain that comes after. It's really big, one whole challenge. Another challenge that we have is the high cost of input, that is the seeds and the fertilizers. For example, if you can be able to see, in our country at the moment, the fertilizers and the seeds themselves, they have become so scarce and very expensive, such that farmers are really complaining to the government to try and lower the prices down. We also have our market accessory, and our price fluctuations. This is a farmer will have 10 acres of a product like onions or tomatoes, but then once they're fully matured, they weren't able to find the exact, they weren't able to, where exactly to take their produce. So you find most of it's rotting back in the warehouse, back at their homes where they have stored, which is really, really very bad. And but don't worry, the government actually and the private sectors is really trying to come up with so many innovations, so many ideas on how to store your produce for long, how to maybe try and look for market easily, actually, even before your produce is ready. A lot is happening, but don't worry about that. And as I conclude, I would want to say one thing: agriculture isn't just about food. It's about innovation, sustainability, and the future of our economy. And guess what? Data plays a massive role in shaping that future. And that is why at M Research, we are always focused with data in agriculture. So if you wanted to learn how data is transforming farming, stay tuned, like and comment, tell me also. And before I close, make sure to visit our website, which is www.mresearch.co.ke, and log into our platform. I think it's one of the best intelligence platforms in the country, covering everything you want to know about agriculture. That is from events to directories, to how land is performing, how crops are performing, how livestock itself is performing, how funding is ongoing, where to get funds, or where to source your funds, whether it's in terms of equity, grants, or loans. All that information, you can get it through our platform, mresearch.co.ke. Until next time, goodbye.